Hey guys, welcome back to Tech, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can build a fully serverless user registration application on AWS. We are going to use AWS services like Lambda, API Gateway, DynamoDB, and CloudFront. These are very used services on AWS, and I'm going to show you how you can use them to be a fully serverless user registration application. By the end of this video, you will understand how to design a scalable production-ready serverless architecture from scratch. So let's hop right into the video. Okay guys, welcome back. So today we are going to work on AWS project, and I'm going to create a playlist here on YouTube where I will be sharing production-ready project with you all. So you'll be able to go out there and practice to have those hand-on experience that is needed out there. So we have a project that we are going to work on today. Let me minimize my screen. So this project, let's quickly view the situation that we have. This is the situation that we have. You are the team head in charge of a project to register employees in your company. Given that this project involves registering users and searching for various users, launching an entire server for this will be a great loss to your company. Actually, there is no company that is out there that is existing or operating that want to incur loss. They are out to profit, though they are out to satisfy clients. At the same time, they are out to make profit. They are not out there to lose, but to make profit. So So launching an entire server for this will be of great loss to the company. So your task here is to look for possible solution that won't involve launching a whole server. I repeat, this is another line. They don't want you to launch a server. So once you see this, it means you're going serverless. That's just it. You're going serverless. So let's get started. We are going to work on this project. But before we start working on this project, let's quickly understand what we are building. Let me create on my architecture that I have. This is my little design that I have out there. So we want to understand what we are building, right? This is actually a serverless web application where we will create users, and these users can create accounts, they can update users, and they can delete users, and they can view users. So AWS actually handle everything. They manage the server. So we are going serverless. We have no server to manage because AWS actually manage everything. Let me chill. Okay, so this is my architecture, and I'm going to try to explain this architecture for you guys. I think I have. I was trying to see if I have like a little pencil where I can highlight what we are saying. Let me see. I did, but I can't find that software. What was the software that was using to explain on my screen? Unfortunately, I can't find that software, and I don't think I want to go through recording mode here on Google Doc. So we're just gonna try to see how I'm going to explain to you all, okay? So here is our architecture. That is how it looks like, and I'm going to explain how it works, right? So we have a front end, which actually is hosted on S3. That's to say our front end is being hosted on S3 buckets, and CloudFront is used to deliver content globally. Yeah, that's why we have CloudFront. It's used to deliver the content globally. We also have an API gateway that will handle incoming HTTPS requests. Then we have a Lambda function that is going to actually process the business logic. Then we also have a DynamoDB that store all the user data. So this is actually a fully decoupled and scalable serverless system that we want to build. I repeat, it is a fully decoupled and scalable serverless system that we are going to build. So the main thing we need to understand here is that we want to build a user registration API with an API gateway, Lambda function, DynamoDB, and CloudFront. We want to build these services because we want to create a user registration app. So we want to build that. So we are going to use some of these services to accomplish these tasks, and we want to go serverless, and we also want to reduce costs. So in this tutorial, you're going to learn how you can use these different AWS services such as Lambda, DynamoDB, API Gateway, IAM, S3 Bucket, RAW 53, Certificate Manager, CloudFront, all of them step by step in this video, because I am going to share with you how you can create your database, how you can create your Lambda function, how you can use a code Python code in your Lambda function, configure your API gateway, host your client application on S3 bucket, and save this content of your S3 bucket with CloudFront. These are what we are going to accomplish in this task. And I'm going to take you first to your AWS account. So let's go ahead and log into our AWS account. I don't know if I'm recording. So this is my AWS account. I hope some of you guys already have your AWS account. So just go ahead and log into your AWS account. So we're going to click here to take us to our home console. So when we are in our home console, we can go ahead and start building our DynamoDB. So the things that I want you to understand is that once you're in your home console, if you have never used the resource before, it's not going to appear on your phone, on your home page. It won't. It will not appear. So you just have to go ahead on the search bar and type whatever services you want to use in AWS. Like now, I said we are going to use DynamoDB. I already have it here because I've used the service. But for you, if you haven't used the service, you're going to say DynamoDB. You click on it and it's going to open. It will take you to the DynamoDB own management console. And the way AWS actually documents their app is so good because they have this best documentation out there. So you can see we are dealing with database, and the database we are using is Amazon DynamoDB. And what is Amazon DynamoDB? This is actually a fast and flexible no SQS database service for any scale. They are literally telling you what it is here. And you can see they say DynamoDB is a fully managed key value and document database that delivers single digit millisecond performance at scale. No limit, at scale. So you can go ahead and read, but since I'm here to take you along this project, just watch and flow with me. So this is how it works. You can click there to watch the video, but like I said, no need. These are the benefits. You can click there to watch, and this is the use cases of DynamoDB. They're using it for gaming, media, and entertainment a lot. But guys, take a break. We are not here for that. So let's go ahead and start with our project. I'm going to take you back to this question. This is the question. You are the team heads in charge of a project to register employees in your company. Given that the project involves registering users and searching for various users, launching an entire server for this will be a great loss for your company. So your task here is to look for possible solution that would involve you launching a whole server. They don't want you to launch a server and they want you to accomplish these tasks. They want you to create this project where you're going to be registering employees in your company. So that is what we have. And I've already built my stack telling you the services that we are going to use. That we are going to use Lambda, DynamoDB, API Gateway, IAM, S3, WAR53, Certificate Manager, CloudFront. Those are the services that we are going to use for our architecture. And I literally share with you this little diagram that I drew from draw.io. Okay, so we can go ahead and start with the first step. The first step of this project, we want to create our DynamoDB. Okay, so we're gonna go to our account. We already have our account here, but before I start, I want to make sure that I just open all the. I want to make sure that I just open all the various resources that we are going to use on each tab, so it will be easy for me to toggle around one tab to another. So we have DynamoDB here. So I'm going to go to the next services that we are going to use. We are going to create a Lambda function. So I'm going to type Lambda. This is Lambda. Then I'm going to open it in another page. So we have Lambda here. We have Lambda here. So I'm going to go again in the next tab here and open a new tab. And in this new tab, we are going to create our next service that we are going to create. We are going to create our API gateway. Okay, I already have API gateway here. So I'm going to click and open in a new tab. Then our other service that we are going to create, we are going to create our S3 bucket. So we are going to click here and also open S3 bucket in another tab. I know if you open a lot of tab like that, you might have like your network will be lagging because you have opened a lot of pages and that might slow down your network, but it's okay. We got this. We got this. So after our S3 buckets, we are going to go ahead and create CloudFront. Okay, so let's open the next service here. CloudFront. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna search for CloudFront. What did I touch? I did something that I don't know. Close that. Oh, go here. CloudFront. Okay. Global Content Delivery Network. Okay. So we are going to start. I just wanted to open all this tab for the services that we are going to use. The very first one is this is DynamoDB section, Lambda. We have our home console, API gateway, cloud distribution. Where's S3? Okay, I'm looking for S3. Looks like we don't have S3 yet. So come back here. Where's S3? Console. I don't need to go to console. Let's click on S3. Did I even have Route 53 open? I don't know. Okay, let's go back and open S3 too. Route 53. I don't think Route 53 is open. So let's open Route 53 too. Okay, these are the services I want us to use. We have DynamoDB. Okay, we have Lambda. We have we're gonna go with after Lambda. We're gonna go API gateway. So I'll put it here. Let's start again. DynamoDB, DynamoDB, Lambda. I'll delete this. S3. After S3, we go to our distribution. CloudFront. Let me bring it here. After that, we have WAR 53, and after WAR 53, we are going to use ACM for our certificate. Why am I typing it there? Let's come back here. We're gonna search here ACM for certificate manager. So we're gonna click here, open in a new tab. Okay, we are going to have that. Then what other service that we need? We will need IAM, but it's okay for us to create our IAM rule. I already create my IAM rule, like I have it here. We'll get that, but I want to make sure that we have that. Let's come back here and type for IAM. We're gonna click I am, open it in another page. Here, then we close this other page. Yeah, this is gonna make our. We need our I am here, okay? So we're gonna have a role. This is very important. We are going to have a role, and I have a video on how you can create a role. So I'm not gonna start showing you I am because this is one of the easiest services out there, though. Even and it's highly secure. So we're gonna be using for our role. The name of the role that we have that we are going to be using out there is what was the name of the role that I created? I can't really remember, but it's there. So let me just see if I can bring that role. Oh my god, these are resources that we have to create with you all, but I already have these resources created, so I don't think I want to recreate this resource anymore. So we have roles. So let's come to the not policy but role. Okay. I can't remember the name of the role, but it's there. It's something like serverless role. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is a role. I have this serverless API role that I created out there, and I've already attached my policy. You can add your permission here. So I've already attached my policy like Amazon DynamoDB, full access, AWS Lambda basic executing role, Cloud Watch full access. I have all this here because I want to use these resources. But there's another one resource that I don't think I have added yet. Let's see. Lambda function full access to, I guess. Look at that was what I wanted to give. Lambda function full access. Hold on, I'm coming, guys. Check it out. Coming, guys. Okay, so let's get started. We were checking for our I am rule, right? Because we need the role to access our DynamoDB and also to allow communication of our Lambda function, okay? And also to have our CloudWatch to have full access so that we'll be able to view the logs. So now that we have that ready, I have a video where I can teach you guys how you're going to go ahead and create your roles. So I'm not doing that right here. I already have the rule created. So we're gonna start with the main tags. Our main first services that we want to create. We want to go ahead and create our table, DynamoDB table. And the reason we are actually creating our DynamoDB table is because we want to store our data from our app. And each of the apps, once we create our app, each of the items has to have a unique ID, which is going to be used to for the partition of our table. So we have to have a unique ID. So we're going to go ahead and create our DynamoDB. We already have it open. So we just want to go ahead and choose the table and give the name of the server of the table. We are going to use STTech. We are going to use this name, STech. Then I'm going to make sure that I copy this because I want to make sure that I have it. In case I want to refresh my name and search for the table name. Let me write here table name on my notepad so I can always know that was my table name. So I'm going to use that STTech for the name of the table. Then the position we're going to use ID, and the ID has to be in all lowercase. You want to use string by default. You also have binaries number, but we are using string by default. So we just leave it like that. Then the partition, we don't need any partition, and that's okay. We don't even have to do anything. Just go ahead and click on create, and our table is being created. So we are going to see when it's done, it's going to show successfully created. So let's wait. It's going to take some while. Drink your coffee. Let's wait for it to be created. You can see our table was created successfully. Now that our table is created successfully, like I said, you want to go ahead and set your I am role, and you want to make sure that your I am role will be able to use the role so that we can able to access DynamoDB and CloudWatch. This is just for authentication and for security. Okay. We don't want anybody to access your database anyhow. So we are going ahead to create a role that we are going to attach our permission. And like I said, I already have this rule created. I'm just gonna. I already share with you the rules that I created and the policy that I attached. These are the rule that I create. This is a rule created, and this is a permission and the policy that has been attached to that rule. Okay, so we are done with that. Let me see. This table is created. We are going to go to the next service. We are going to go to Lambda. We want to create our Lambda function. And with the Lambda function, Lambda, look at what it do. AWS Lambda lets you run code without thinking about server. So it's serverless. So we are going to run code without thinking about how we are going to build a server for our code so we can go serverless. And this is what the question was asking. They want to go serverless. They don't want to create a server, a whole server. So that's why we are using this Lambda function. So we're going to click on create Lambda. So once you click on create your Lambda, under the create functions name, you just want to go ahead. You're selecting auto from scratch. We have like use a blueprint and containers image. We don't need this option for this project. We are just going to go with auto from scratch. Okay, so you want to go ahead and give the name of your server. So that's the name of my Lambda. I'm going to give it Lambda, serverless Lambda. It doesn't really matter the name. So let me go ahead. I just want to save my name so that I can always, like I said. So this is the name of my Lambda. Let me go for your function, Lambda function. Lambda function. Okay. I'm just saving this on my notepad so that I can use it later. Should in case I need it. Okay. So that's the name we are using. For your runtime, we are going to use the code we are using is Python. So we're going to use Python 10. That's the code we are selecting. Okay, and once we are done with that, we can go ahead and give permission. So we can change the default executive permission role. So we're gonna go ahead straight. Yeah, we have to change the default executive execution role. I talk too fast, right? If I don't talk too fast, I'm gonna be like so slow, gentle. But when I'm happy working on a project, I'm just like, but it's okay. So we're gonna go ahead. This is actually create a default role. So we are going to change default execution role. So we're going to use an existing role. So we're going to click here, use another role. So the role we want to use is what we already have. This one, we are going to click on that. That's the role I'm using. The role I already create my I am role. So it was needed here in this Lambda section. So now we're just going to go ahead and everything is okay. No additional configuration is needed. Let me open this tab, networking, governance. Okay, we are good. We don't need to configure any other thing. We just go ahead and click on create functions. Delete this, dismiss that. And our Lambda function is being created out here. So once our Lambda function is being created, we just want to go ahead inside the configuration tab. We do some little adjustment because the time is actually 3 seconds. We want the time to be at least 1 minute and 0 seconds. So we're gonna go ahead. Let me. We're gonna go ahead towards this page. And what is this? This function code has been updated and deployed in another editor. Okay, so ignore this. I'm not further using that code. So we're gonna click on delete. We don't need that. We'll create our name from fetch. So we're gonna go back here to the configuration. Click on configuration, and we want to edit our general configuration setting. We leave the description, or you can put something if you want. You're gonna go ahead and write 500 MB. Okay, we leave this as default. Then for the time, we are going to use 1 second. We're gonna reduce the second to 0. So 1 minute, 0 seconds. So execution rule. So we have our rule that is here. It's already auto select. So we are good with this serverless API rule that we have there. So we are good with that. Okay, so We are not creating another role, so we are good with that. We just click on save. Once we are done changing our memory, we are going to go ahead and use the developer code that we have for our Lambda function. This is for our backend. So we have this code in our GitHub. So we're going to click on GitHub so we'll be able to check this code and copy it and paste it here. So let's go to GitHub. Like I said, this is my code. It's like actually, yeah. Let's refresh. Okay. These are my project folders. So I'm going to go to, maybe I think it's here. Okay. Yeah, this is the code. So we're going to click here, then copy everything from this code. Control A, Control C to copy. Control C to copy. If you think you haven't copied, click Control C to copy. So go back to Lambda. Once we are in Lambda, you want to go to where we have the codes, right? Let it open. We are going to go to ignore. I don't want to accept anything. Ignore. So we are going to delete everything that we have on the lambda function.py. Delete. Then we are going to paste the newly copied code that we copy from our GitHub account. That's the developer code that we are going to be using for our backend. Okay, so when you have this code, you want to go ahead and change the name. We should go around line 12 or line 11. Yeah, for the dynamo table name, we have a table name which is actually estech underscore user. Let me see, that was not the name. If you can't remember your name, just go ahead and copy. So the name was estech user serverless. That was the name. So I'm not changing it because that was my name in my code, but you guys can go ahead and change what use your own name to create a table. And once you create a table, you can always change your table name. So we are good with this one like that. So this code is okay the way we want. Okay. Let's see something. Hold on, guys. I want to make sure I am checking this code. I know I'm not a developer here, but I have to check my code too because to make sure my code is correct. Okay, we are done with that. We are going to go back to Lambda here where we have the serverless Lambda. We want to add another file. So we click on create another file, and this file that we want to create, we want to name this. Let's go back to, we are going to go back to our GitHub. Where's my GitHub? Okay, here we go. We want to go back to GitHub, one page back. We are using the custom encoder.py. That is the code we want. So we're going to come back here and click file. Click here. We have to click a new file name. So we're going to name this custom underscore .py and make sure that there is no typo. Now we click on enter. So now we have our new file. So we are going to copy the code that we have here in GitHub. Control A and Control C, copy. Then we go back to our Lambda function and we paste this code. Now we have pasted this piece of code here. We have pasted a piece of our Python code here, which has been created by our developer. Okay. So now we can go ahead now and deploy this infrastructure, right? So we're going to click on here where we have deploy. Can you see? We're going to click on deploy and we are deploying our Lambda function. You can see successfully deploy. Okay, so now that we are done with that, we just want to go to the next thing. We are going to the test services. We want to create our API gateway. And when we create our API gateway, there's a create and manage API at scale. So you can create your back end. So the API will be able to connect our front end and our back end. So it's going to act as a API connection between our front end and our back end, right? So now we want to go ahead and create our API. So we're going to click on create API. And under the API, you have various types you can choose, but we are going with the REST API. With the REST API, so it will develop a REST API where you gain complete control over the request and response along with the API management capability. So we're going to click on build. Once we click on build, we are going to select the properties that is needed for our app to fully run. So we're going to leave it on new API. That's what we want. The name of the API, we're just going to use application API. We are good with that description. Okay. The endpoint regional, you can choose whatever endpoint we want, but we want it regional. That's okay. By default, we are not changing that security. We don't need anything here. So we are good with that. So let's go ahead and just click on quit. Now that we have our API gateway created, we have created our API gateway. We want to go ahead now and create resources inside our API gateway. So we are going to create, this is a folder, the slash folder, this part. We are going to use this part to create our resources. So you want to click on that, then you click on create. Now the very first thing we want to create, we are creating like resource name. We are using health. We want to check the health of our apps. So the folder is okay like that. So we are not changing that. So we're going to click here on core cross origin resource sharing because we want to share resource from our both ends. So we're going to click on create. Once we are done with that, we can go ahead and click again on this very part where we have the root part, and we're going to go ahead and create another resource. So the next resource we are creating user resource. Okay, so when we click on create our user resource, when we create a user resource for all data on a single user, that's what we are doing here. So we're going to click on the call and click again. That's perfect. We're going to go back here, click on the root part and click the next resource. The next resource we're going to create is users with S. We click on core, and this users is to query all users. Okay, so we click now on create. We are done creating our resources. Now we want to go ahead and create method for each of these resources. So for the very first resource, the method that we want to create, we want to go ahead and choose, we are going to give, what are we doing for our health? Are we get the method? We are going to use get method. For our users, we are going to use get, put, post, and delete. We want our user to be able to perform all those acts. Then we are going to also, for our users, we are going to create get. So now, how are we going to do to create our method? So you click on like the first one, health. You want to stay on that part, head, and click on create method. So now, what are the methods we want to use? We are going with get. Yeah, we are clicking get. We are okay with the integration type Lambda. Enable Lambda proxy for integration. Okay, so I don't think if I want to stream, it's okay. We're just gonna go the, yep, that's my region. Okay, this is a Lambda we are going to use. Click that. Leave everything by default. Go ahead and click on create method. We are good. That is good. We go to the next one, the users. Inside the users, we also want to go ahead and have the get, the put, the post. I want to make sure that I'm recording. Perfect. I'm recording this time around. It hasn't paused. So we are going to go ahead and click on create. Remember, we are going with get, type, get, Lambda proxy, choose this one. We are good. So I'm go ahead and click on, make sure you select everything that is needed. We click on the create. Okay, that method is created. We go back to our users. Under users, we need to create more methods. We want to go ahead now. This next method, we are going with put method. Okay, we want our user to be able to put resources. Okay, we're gonna choose this one and we're gonna go ahead and click on create method. Under the users again, we are going to create another method. We have almost 4 methods that we need for our users. We are going to post Lambda, choose Lambda, Lambda proxy, and the resource name for our Lambda. Click on that and we go ahead and click on create. We are good with that. We're going to go again back on users, click on create method, select. Now we have to use delete. We already have post. Okay, activate the proxy, select the resource name and click on create. We are good with that. Okay, we have put, post, get and delete. So we're gonna go with the next one, users. Click on users and under users, we are having to go ahead. We give get Lambda, activate, select the Lambda functions, and we go ahead and click on create. We got that set. So we're going to go ahead with the next. We have created all of our resources, and once we have our resources created, we can go ahead now to call. We want to enable call, right? So we are done creating this method. So we are going to click on the users resources, our user resources here. This is our user resources to enable call. So once you click on user resources, you're going to click on enable call. You can see here. So when we click on enable call, you want to choose what are the gateway response you want. We're going to go default 500x. So what are the resources that are access controlled along method? So we want to go ahead and choose for the access control. We are choosing everything, right? So just go ahead and select all these resources, this endpoint. So we select all of this endpoint, then everything is already here, which is okay, which is still good. So once we are done selecting everything, we just go ahead and click on saved. Yep. Then we go now back on the users and we also enable call. Once we enable call, we're gonna go ahead and default get options. So we go ahead, we leave it a star, we're selecting everything, and that is okay. So once we are done, I'm not doing that for health. It looks like I'm going to do that for health. It doesn't really matter. So let's do it for health. It doesn't really matter. We'll click on health too. We enable call for health. 500, get, okay, and good. We are done. Enable it for our health, for our users, and for our users. So we are done with that. Now that we are done creating all these resources and we have created the method, we have enabled our core, we can go ahead now and deploy our API. So to deploy our API, we're going to click on API. The stage of our API, we're going to say new and the API name that you want to use. So we are going to go ahead and give our name register. Okay, we are going to go register. You can give whatever name that you want, but we are going with register. Description, nothing. I'm going to click on deploy. And you can see successfully create or deploy application API. So this is actually active and it is working. When we come here, you can see this is our register, our stage. Everything is being created here. If you want to create multiple stage, you can click here, but that's what we wanted and we are done with our API gateway. Remember, we have created our DynamoDB, we have created our Lambda, we have our IAM user already that we are using the rule here, and we have our API now created. So we are going to go ahead to try to see how we are going to host our JavaScript application on S3 bucket because that is where we are hosting our application. We are going to host our application on S3 bucket. That's where we are saving it. Then we are going to use CloudFront distribution to be able to catch our app for content delivery so that it can reduce latency, right? So that's what we are going to do. So the next we are going to do, we're going to create our S3 bucket. Click here to create our S3 bucket. Let me see. I thought I already have one created. But okay, so we're going to go and create our S3 bucket. So for the name of the S3 bucket, it has to be unique. I don't know if I have a name already created here. I could have used it. So let's go with our S3 bucket. I'm going to use this name, S3 user bucket. That's the name I'm going to use for my S3 bucket. Click on that. I'm going to come back here because I have the name but I deleted it area. So we are going to use for the name of our bucket STTech users bucket. So we have that. That's okay. So let's go. We just leave it in general purpose. That's good. And we also have a script that we are going to use, our JavaScript that we use for our apps, that we can build this app. This script is already created and we have it on our GitHub. We are going to bring that script and try to use it. And we need to modify the API root variables on our index.html so that it can match the API that we just got here, our API key. So let's go back to our API. Look, once we create our API, we have this code, this invoke URL. So we want to make sure that you copy that because we need it. We're going to be using it on our API root variables for our index.html file. So we're going to need that. Okay, so we got that. Let's come back here. Okay, let's go back to our console because we want to create our S3 bucket. Let me see if I'm actually still recording. We are still recording in progress. Okay, good. Okay. It's remaining 5 minutes for that record to over before I can start a new one. So let's go back to S3. This is S3. We are creating our bucket. Leave everything default. You okay? Bucket versioning. No. We can enable versioning, but it's okay. For now, just leave it at default. I don't need that. So we are going to go ahead. We just leave everything the way it is, right? I don't want to change any configuration. I just click on create a bucket. That's it. Okay, our bucket is already successfully created. My network is fast this evening. So you can see this is our bucket. We have a list of bucket here. So this is our bucket. So I'm going to click here to open the bucket. Now that I have this bucket, we want to copy our codes and paste them here. This method of me working this project is actually the manual method of clicking cursor. As a DevOps engineer, we want to automate things. So I'm going to write a pipeline, create a pipeline where we can automate things. At the same time, you can also write Terraform code that will deploy all these resources for you. But this is my pipeline. So, in the case you make change in the developers, once they make any changes in their code, they can just commit the code to their version control, GitHub they're using, or whatever version control they are using, right? Once they commit the code there, it's going to trigger the pipeline and all the changes going to be amended following the pipeline rules and policies that have been put in place. Okay. So now we are just doing the manual clicking so that you can have the concept before you can start going to automate things. So now that is just it. We're gonna upload the file here. Let's go back to GitHub. This is GitHub, right? Let's go back to GitHub. In this GitHub, I have my GitHub project. I have the files here in the API. Here's this one. We have them here. So I'm going to copy. We're going to take all of these files and paste them on our S3 bucket. So let me see if I see if I can. I'm going to. Okay, let me bring. Oh my God, all this happening. Okay, here we go. We are going to modify our index.js file before we can upload them to GitHub. So we want to go where we have this API based URL. Yeah, we want to change this URL with our current API URL that we copied after we create our gateway API. So that's what we need here. So I'm going to paste my URL. This is it. Make sure that you paste it correctly. That is it. Once you have it, you can save it. Mine is automatically saved, but you can just click on save. Okay, so let me come back here. That's the change that we are going to do here. So I'm going to go back and let me just check my path pwd to know where I actually have that file so that I can download them. This is my path. I'm going to go, okay, where is it? Oh, okay, it's not showing me. Okay, I can see. Okay, I know where it is. Let's go to, I'm going to check. my part so that I can upload the file to minimize this. I'm going back to project. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm going to go to C drive, users, ST. Then we are going to, after user ST, what was the name? We have project folder. Okay, yeah. You're going to go on project folder, double click, go to your API. I hope that is the one I'm changing. Let me look back. Please hold on, guys. I want to make sure that I'm changing the right one. Okay, what part was that? What STTech AP app dash API? Okay, that's the one changing. That's good. So okay, we're gonna go back. Okay, that was the one I'm changing. So this is it. STTech API app. This is what we want. So we have these folders. We have already changed the line of our index.js. So we are going to copy, drag the whole code to get up. Let me bring it back down here. Go back to our S3 bucket that we create. We want to upload all this file inside S3 bucket. So we click there and drag and drop. Okay. You can see I just drag and drop here. One, two, three, four, five. So once you drag it and drop, you just want to go ahead and upload. Click on upload and it's uploading. It was successfully uploaded. Okay. At times it's going to take a while. It all depends on your network and the workload. Okay. So we are good with that. Let me cancel this. So now that we have our S3, so we have created Lambda, DynamoDB, API Gateway, and our S3. Four services. We are still to go. We have to create our CloudFront, but before we have that, let's see something. There's some stuff we have to do here. Okay, like I said, we want to go ahead and create our certificate. Like we already have the certificate that is being created. We have the certificate that is being issued, right? So we have our certificate here that is being issued. I'm going to maintain that. So we're just gonna go back. I already share with you how you can click and create a certificate in my previous video. So let's go back to Route 53 and see how we can attach that. But let's before we go to Route 53, we want to go ahead and click first of all on the distribution. Here in our distribution, I have three distribution here. I have one, two, these are all disabled, then this is enabled. So I'm going to first of all investigate this distribution. I'll click on the first one to see if it is actually or have an alternate domain name. It doesn't have. If you have it, you want to remove that because if not, when you try to attach your new domain, it won't work because your cloud phone will not be able to use the same domain name for both distributions. So you have to go ahead and delete one. There is no attachment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead to the next one and investigate what is happening. This is not also attached. It was attached and it failed. So I troubleshoot it and I realized that that was the issue. So now I'm going to go back to this other distribution. This is a distribution I'm using. I'm going to click there and I'm going to try to attach an alternate domain name here. So we're going to click here and click that. And once I click on it and we're going to add, so when we click here, we're going to click on register dot st tech.com. Okay. So once we have that, we have added that. Okay. So you can add multiple if you want, but we are good with what we have. So we're gonna go ahead here on the certificate because we already have certificate created. So we are using this card certificate that is being created. We are leaving everything here and we are going to go ahead and see save changes. Uh-oh. Why is it fail? Okay, I don't want it to remove. Okay, it failed because I was having two fields. Thought I want to add another name, so it's okay. So we're gonna click on save here, and our distribution was successfully created. And you can see our domain name for our cloud front and this. So we are going to take this name and search on the website to see if we have actually changed our name from, look here, I tried to open it the first time, it failed, right? Because another distribution was using the domain name, so I was not able to use that. So now I went ahead and did this configuration. Now that we are done with the configuration, let's go back to S3 bucket, no, to route 53, and let's check for the newly create. We're gonna create a record. Let's rewind this. Okay, I just refreshed this and we create a record now. We are going to create a record now that we know we have already attached it. So we click on create a record. And the name we are using is register dot. Okay, so that is okay for you. So we click on the alias and we check on the CloudFront distribution. Okay, now we have CloudFront distribution. Oh my god, what happened again? Here we go. We click here, and once we have the distribution attached, now we can go ahead and click on create a record. And let's wait for our record to be created. You can see it's showing that successfully created, right? So now we get our record that is being created. Now that our record is being created, we can copy this record and check online if it's working. So we click here. Oh no, we're gonna copy the record. Sorry. Oh my god, what is happening? Let's refresh. Let's refresh the screen. So I'm going to copy this domain name. That's a custom domain name that you can give to users so that they'll be able to access your app. Remember, this is the old domain name. Now we are going to use our new custom domain name. Okay, so let's see if we'll be able to access our app. Voila, we can access our app and our app is secure. So it's highly scalable and highly secure. So you can use that HTTPS and our domain name. We have our subdomain name. Yep, so this is our app. So now that we have this configuration, the next thing we want to try to test is how we can create users, right? It already worked before. Once we were using this, it worked before, but we want to go ahead and try to see how we can create users. So we're going to click here. You see it's working. We can refresh. So let's click here to create users. So I'm going to call the user name this name. We are going to create a lot of, let's say, donor. I'll not username. Doro. We use Doro Kita. Okay, username Kita one. Okay, we use this email and let's click on server. You can see user created successfully. Okay, that was created successfully, right? Okay, so we're going to go back to our back end to see if it's actually reflecting here. I wanted to see the distribution showing here on my screen, but unfortunately, I don't know. I'm not seeing it displaying on the screen here. It's okay. I'm just going to go back to my database to see if it's actually loading there, if the items are loading there. So we have created our users, right? So let's go back to our. Remember, we are done. We are going back to the beginning, which is our database. Yeah, our database, which is DynamoDB. So we're gonna refresh our database. Okay, then we're gonna click on our database, and once we click on our database, once we go down, you feel like there is nothing that is showing, right? But let's go to where we have exploit table item. Okay, we're gonna click on exploit table items, and once we click there, you can see that we have it's actually functioning. So we can go back here and you can see we have item return 3, we have scan 3, efficiency 100%. Our website is 100% working, and if you can look, we can see our database is not showing on the screen, Then we have the item listed here on our back end. So you can see the ID. We are seeing the ID here. We are seeing our avatar image. These are the avatar image. Then we are having the names. This is our email or behind our back end. You can see the names that we just created. Can you guys see that? These are the name we created. These are it. So everything is working correctly. And what more can I say? What more can I say? Nothing, right? We just built a fully functionable app that can register users. You can see that that's the back end. And should the case we were having problem, you can go ahead and like troubleshoot using like CloudWatch because you want to monitor your apps. After you create your application, you want to monitor your app. So you can go ahead and use other services like CloudWatch, right? To look at your logs. But so far, we are good. We are good with this. Click user add to create one. We're gonna click user add. Let's create another user. So what name I'm gonna go? See Susie, Susie, and Kitolia. My names are wonderful. Kitoka. Email. I'm putting real email because I don't want it directly on save, right? Another user has been created successfully. Okay. This is actually a fully production use case, and you can use this to custom. If you want to customize it like I did, you can use your custom domain name, HTTPS to secure your website, and this is actually literally a fully secure, friendly, user friendly website app. So that is it. You have just built a fully serverless application on AWS. And if you found my video helpful, like my video, subscribe to SSTech, and check on the description box for a full project file. And stay tuned for more projects. Love you guys. Stay tuned and bye bye. I hope this video was helpful.
Solve on, let's build the future. One line of code, one dream at a time. From the cloud to the console, the rhythm flows. Innovation lives where the knowledge grows. SD Tech, your tech journey starts here. Code it, dream it, live